everyone, yes, good afternoon. Afternoon, Canal Fiends. This is me, and that is Stoke Bruerne up there, 2 locks off. I was today going to go that way, down the other 5, but it was a bit breezy this morning and pretty chilly, and I sort of chickened out. So I thought I'll tilt the solar panels up, because we're sort of facing south, but the sun is behind all those trees, so it's not doing a great deal, to be fair. But even now, just as an aside, don't know, early to mid-February-ish we're approaching, and I've gotten just enough solar with all these panels to sort of top the batteries up enough to see me through the night, you know, with the fridge running, the internet router. You know, I'm a bit power hungry, to be honest. I do tend to leave things on, which I probably shouldn't do. Anyway, different argument. So anyway, what this is really about, so there's no need to run the engine anyway, so that's one good thing. No need to run the engine today to gain power. So so I had a bit of a wizard wheeze. I had lunch about half an hour ago, and what I found is that I feel the need for cake, or at least dessert, and I haven't got anything. I did get a Waitrose delivery a couple of days ago, and I did get a cake, 2 of them actually, sensational things. But of course I ate them. I think I ate them both on this first day, so they never survive that long, you know what I mean? They're so fragile and so delicious. So they got scoffed, and I've been cakeless. The Wildlife Trust, what's this? Stoke Bruerne Nature Reserve, how lovely. Little bench up there, you can go wandering around the grass and see things. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. I'm all about the cake, baby. So it's an interesting, well, not an interesting name, but an amusing little name for the boat there, Dizzy Duck. And they've got their panels tilted as well. There's a couple of boats further down by the lock there, I can see, but they didn't move as well. Interestingly, no boats have come down today. 2 came down yesterday, of which I was one. And look at this, by the way, 7 days free mooring here. Each extra day £25, maximum 14 days per month. This is a very busy lock flight in the summer, and I don't think they want continuous cruisers parking themselves for any significant length of time. You know, 7 days free, and then you'll pay £25 a day, which no sensible continuous cruiser is going to do, of course. I mean, this is winter now, so for another 6 weeks or so, we still get to use the 2-day moorings for 14. That restriction is still being lifted for, you know, it comes back on the end of March, I think it is. So, but you know, fine, no problem with that. You do need to keep the boats moving during the summer in the busy spots, because otherwise, every time you rocked up at a busy spot, this would all be solid. And a couple of optimistic swans there, keeping half an eye on me in case I've got any food or something. They mistake me for one of those silly tourists. I know them for the ravenous monsters they are. They have got terrible temperaments on them, honestly. If they even suspect you've got food, they start hissing, giving you grief, you know. Just awful things. They're bullies. So I will have no truck with them. No, I do feed them, especially if they've got youngsters, but not right now. So this is the second lock yesterday. Not a shallow lock as well, by the way. Looks to be about 10 foot deep, doesn't it? Certainly minimum 8. The whole flight of 7 locks has a drop of 17 metres, as I recall. Side ponds, look. Each time a boat passes, they will lock 55,000 gallons of water, 250,000 litres taken from the height at a low level. These side ponds were built to store water, so it could be reused when the next boat came up. Oh, I see. And it's on 2 levels, side pond there and a lower side pond there. I'm not quite sure how it saves water. Anyway, I can't get sidetracked. The mission is too important. The cover story for this trip, and the reason I was gonna say I'm taking this little stroll, was to see the Canal Museum. There's a small canal museum in Stoke Bruerne. There's nothing else. Well, there's 2 pubs. There's really not very much at all in Stoke Bruerne. It's not even a corner shop. Not many houses. It's a super quiet village. It really is. But none the worse for that, you know. It's what they call, on the map it says controlled zone. I think this lock flight and the area just above it, I think it gets monitored fairly regularly, more than normal, certainly during summer, by CRT, and just to make sure people aren't loitering too long. I'm not, you know, calling people out for loitering, but because I've done it myself once or twice, but boaters do seem to have a habit, or some of them, of wanting to stay in areas for longer than the rules normally permit. And I've done it a few times, as I say. I'm not slagging anyone off if that's their thing, but you won't get away with it here. I think they're all over it. So anyway, cover story is the official story. I'm going to the boat museum if it's free. If it's not free, then I'm not. But either way, the cafe's open. Well, logic would say they're going to let me into the cafe, and the hope is I'll get myself a cake. There's a little ice cream van, ice creams and lollies and things, hot and cold refreshments, cones, tubs, yeah, all that in the summer. None of it right now. What's this? Oh, a food place. The Spice of Bruerne. Hello. I've just eaten. Hello. I might have a little look. It's within an easy walk. If I was here a few days, I'd give the place a go. But it might be I've gone too soon. There's the boathouse over there. And there's some cottages here. Cottage 3, Cottage 4. That's their official address. So there are some people living here. There's something over there called the Canal Shop. In fact, there's a Canal Street. Use entrance door to the left. Oh, right, so this is how they control the thing. What does it say about paying? We need to know if there's going to be a fee. Right, doesn't say anything. Right. Anyway, let's see if they've got any cake left. Oh my God, they're closed. They've gone and closed on me. Is the cafe closed, yeah? Do you know, I was going to just buy a quick cake to take out. Would that be okay? Oh, thanks a lot. Cheers. I don't want to sit down or anything. Don't worry. I was just going to grab a quick scone or a cake or something, so I won't be a nuisance. And I'll be out of your hair. Right. So we got options. Whenever there's options, my idea is always have both. So, can I take one of those, the caramel shortcake, and a drizzle as well? I'll have you got like a paper towel and wrap them in that? Yeah, I'll take them with me. Oh yeah, even better. Yeah, fantastic. Let's not be brutish. Yeah, I think that'll do. Well, you do salt and vinegar as well. Do you know what? While I'm here, I'll take those as well. There we go. But I've seen a couple of them. I think once you've seen One Boat Museum, you've probably seen them all, to be fair. So, anyway, well, listen, thank you very much. Thank you very much for obliging. You know, I was desperate for cake. And bye-bye for now. Bye-bye. Right, people, you will have gathered what transpired there. I did not get to visit the museum. The staff, quite reasonably, shutting up shop. It is getting on a bit, to be fair. This was an important stopping place. So it cut right through Stoke Bruerne village street, and they dug through the hill, which is the cutting there for the tunnel. Hiya. So, if I hadn't been so greedy in having lunch at whatever it was, 3 o'clock, I would have been in a mood to pop over to the boat in there. But the thing, the time to go there, I mean, it's too early to start drinking beer, so the option might be pop back later for an hour. So it's very much a tourist place, and it's absolutely empty. But that's the dreaded sill, and it's huge as well. Look at the size of it. And this is why people always say to stay away from the back end, go towards the far end of the loch when you're going down. If there's one thing, if you're a new boater, there's only one thing you need to remember, and that is stay away from the back end of the loch when you're going down. Stay away. There we go, yeah. These are massive, these. And if this was the summer, there'd be a queue of boats waiting outside that museum, guessing that this was a dry dock. In fact, why not check out the info? This might tell me. Duelling the locks. In the 1830s, the railway companies were competing, and the canals needed to carry more goods, so they added extra locks. So this wasn't, as I said, a dry dock. It was built as an extra lock. They're only used for about 15-20 years, and actually this was the original. This was where the route initially went. So the one I went down, and the one that's still in use over there, that's the second one. This was the original. So anyway, a failed mission from the point of view of the museum, but of course you know me well enough to know now that was only ever a cover story, and the real objective was the cake, and that was successful. But look, about 2 feet gap, not a big gap, but not one to take lightly. The pound hasn't gone down. Let me step across first. Hang on, I've got to make sure there's no obstructions. I can get a clean step. There we go. The pound hasn't gone down significantly overnight, because the rope is still pretty much the same as it was, so the boat's not sunk, so that's great, and that means it probably won't tonight. No boats have come up or down. Anyway, yeah, a little footpath over there just on the far side of the cut. Looks huge, doesn't it? You would think this canal would be navigable for 50 feet. Is that 40 feet across there? Whatever it would be, it feels like it's almost wide enough for my boat to turn round to go across it, but I bet it's very shallow for, you know, a good 10 feet out from that bank. It's not what it seems. I don't think it'll be what it seems. The navigable bit, sorry, that was a mouthful, will be much less than what you see on the surface. But yeah, a little sort of a footpath goes along there. Get a few stragglers coming backwards and forwards. In the summer it would be busier, of course, always is. But yeah, it's a very quiet spot. I don't know if there's anyone on that boat behind me, and I didn't see any lights in that boat either. So I may be out of earshot. Unwittingly, I may have placed myself out of earshot of human beings, because the houses, could they hear me up there? 400 yards perhaps? I think I'd make sure they did hear me if there was an incident, shall we say, an unfortunate incident involving an axe. I feel I could make myself heard over that distance. Yeah, I could definitely make myself heard over 400 yards. I would be making some effort. Anyway, enough blather. Beautiful afternoon. Wind's died down. It's going to be a great day tomorrow, I think, to cruise down there, and I'll just get to the bottom of the locks and just see how I feel. If I'm in decent fettle, I'll carry on for a bit.